Folks, welcome back to the Wanneroo channel on this beautiful sunny fall day. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe with all these videos. I do appreciate y'all that support the channel. And today we've got a unboxing and a review of this Palmetto State kit that I picked up last month for a very reasonable price of $300. And right now there's a lot of great deals out there to take advantage of. And so I thought, hey, this would be fun for the channel to go ahead and get one of these and actually see how it performs and see what value you get for your money. So let's go ahead and open it up and have a look. Okay, folks, so let's see what comes in the kit. First thing here is our upper. The barrel apparently is nitrided. The bolt carrier group, I think, is like the Carpenter 158 steel that everyone always talks about as being a good thing. All the bits and supposedly, I guess, mil spec and everything. You have your Magpul furniture here. Everything looks like, in terms of the quality, it looks pretty good. There's no rear sight with it, so that is one thing you've got to provide or whatever. We're actually going to put a Burris scope on this, and I'll do a review on that separately. But the quality here, you know, to me, it looks pretty decent for the money. Everything looks pretty smick. All looks good. So I don't see any sort of issues at all. There's no blemishes, nothing like that. And looking into the bolt carrier group, that looks fine as well. So I'd say definitely for the money, looks pretty sharp. I can't complain at all. Let's look at some of the parts here. So this comes with the Magpul furniture. So we get a Magpul pistol grip with it. We have a Magpul stock right here. The MOA stock. This is also an olive drab in case the sunlight's kind of bleaching it out, but I've used these stocks before. I think they work pretty good. So I think, again, for the money, you know, getting the Magpul stuff I think is awesome. And then also all of our little bits and parts here. One thing is with these with the rear tubes here is, whenever I did a Palmetto kit before, I had an issue with the rear tube, and I ended up replacing it with the Aero Precision part. So we'll see how this one goes together. Hopefully there's no issues. If there is, I've got another Aero Precision part sitting there. I can't remember what the problem it was. It was years ago whenever I did it, but anyways, it just didn't work great, so replace it with Aero Precision. So hopefully this one works fine, but you know, as it stands right here, everything is looking good. And then we have all of our little bits and pieces and parts that we'll have to assemble on our own, basically. And looks like they have everything kind of color coded into different bags. Everything is kind of split up in all the different bags and everything, all the little different pins and springs and parts and everything. And then also it looks like our trigger group here as well. So of course too, with a lot of this, you can always mix and match and kind of put some of your own stuff in if you want. So it's kind of up to you if you want to go that direction, but we're going to stick to basically whatever they provide in the kit, and I'll tell you straight up however it works out or doesn't work out. So next thing is I will go ahead and get this all together off camera. We will come back and go ahead and go over it before we go to the range, and just have a look at basically how it all looks finished. And then we're going to do some shooting with it and see how the accuracy is, and just see how general performance is right out of the box. All right, folks, and then I did forget to mention what sort of lower receiver we're going to use for this. And what I'm going to go with is it's a ATI. I've used these before. They seem to work just fine. They're called their Mill Sport, I guess. And yeah, at least in terms of previous experience, everything goes together fine. They work fine, no issues at all. They seem to be relatively affordably priced and all that. I did have some Aero Precision receivers sitting around, but I thought I still had one more of these left, and I thought, well, let's go ahead and use it up. And so, yeah, I mean, they seem to, you know, be just fine, work great. So that's what we'll use. Okay, folks, so we've got our rifle together now. Mostly everything went together pretty good. Was right here with these ears here, getting these roll pins in. Compared to any other experience I've had putting together ARs, these roll pins were super tight with this Magpul trigger guard here. And not sure what the deal was, but I had to be very cautious about what I was doing because one thing is you don't want to break these ears here on the receiver, because then it'd basically be, you know, party over. So I had to really spend a lot of time and be patient. I probably messed around with it for an hour, and had to make sure too the ears were supported and all that, to get those get that roll pin in there, and then this other pin as well. This roll pin here, this was kind of a little bit of a pain, not too much. I used specialized tools for it as well, and I also used a bunch of this painter's tape and pretty much had this whole receiver here covered up so I didn't scratch anything as well. So that was another thing. That roll pin did take a little bit of an effort to get it in, but other than that, everything went together fine. You know, nothing else that I can think of that was an issue. Also, in terms of specs on this, we won't get too super nerdy on it, but the barrel is melanated, gas system is mid-length, receiver is forged 7075 T6 aluminum, I believe. The bolt in here is Carpenter 158 steel, and the barrel I think is chrome vanadium or something like that. Off the top of my head, I'm just thinking. But yeah, I would say, you know, overall, looking at it for the money and the furniture that comes with it. Now, they have raised the prices on these kits, but money, I just think it looks pretty sharp. I really can't complain at all. And for a rifle that's going to be used just for kind of ranch duty, very happy with it. So, you know what? Let's take this sucker out and shoot it and see how we go with it and what kind of results it'll give us. And I decided to go ahead and put a Burris RT6 scope on it. I'm doing a separate review on this scope as well, so you can check out that review separately whenever it posts. Well, folks, in terms of gear and everything, here we are set up at the range today. And also, I'll give you a look here. Beautiful day, isn't it? Can't beat that. A lot of people complain whenever I show shots in my videos of, I don't care what the weather is where you're at. Well, too bad. Here you go. Anyways, so here is everything that we've got set up here. We're using a CTK precision rest to kind of rest the rifle on. Got our ammo back there. I brought some PMC kind of as a backup. And then also too, we got our Burris box there, our Howard Late Ear Pro, and the big horseflies are trying to get me today. So I've been zapping them with the Bug Assault Shredder here. And if you don't have a shredder, you're missing out. Check the link down below. Get you one. You won't regret it. I guarantee you that. All right, let's get started shooting. So let's go ahead and take a look at the accuracy here. So the first thing I tried out was this Remington UMC 223 Remington 55 grain full metal jacket, kind of just your standard M193 type loading made here in the United States. And so the first group that I got with this actually ended up off the paper. And one of the things I found is, for whatever reason, my sights, whenever I dialed them in before, they were kind of set a bit high. So I did make some adjustments later. But anyways, first, one of the rounds ended up off the paper here, so I didn't bother to kind of catalog that group with this. However, second group down here with our 55 grain Remington, we had overall spread here of 1.54 inches. So I was pretty happy with that. Now, obviously, if you're shooting iron sights or something, or red dot, your group is probably going to open up a bit. So we're using a Burris 1:6 scope on a bench. So, you know, this is kind of looking more for what is the max accuracy we could probably expect with this rifle. And I would say with a 55 grain M193 type bullet, 1.54 I think is pretty freaking good. So pretty happy with that. So not a decent, you know, not too bad of a load there, and pretty accurate. So I was super stoked with that. Now moving on here. Next thing that we tried out was some PMC. So I went over to the gun store, picked some of this up. This is your 62 grain typical green tip ammo. So the 62 grain kind of came about in the mid 80s to replace the M193. And yeah, so we wanted to give this a go and kind of see how this stacked up. First group I shot with this, wasn't hugely kind of impressed with it. Could have been, you know, user error, who knows. But we had a spread there of 4.49 inches, so a little bit wide. You know, probably out there in like real world situations, you know, clearly we're on target here, but, you know, it's not like the greatest accuracy. However, once we kind of got everything kind of warmed up there with this round on that first group, we came back and we shot the second one here, 1.49 inches as a spread. So pretty happy with that, pretty much on par with that 55 grain. So who knows, you know, what the deal was with the first group, but definitely in the second group here, we dialed it in and looked pretty sweet. So super happy with that, very stoked. Keep in mind, you know, this is a $300 parts kit. So to me, in my opinion, this is pretty impressive for what we're getting. And this is kind of your standard, almost mil-spec type ammo here, you know, 62 grain green tip. So, you know, I'm pretty happy with that. Let's go ahead and look at the next one. This next one here, I was mega stoked with this. This Frontier cartridges. I honestly didn't expect much with it. This is ammo that's loaded at Lake City in Lake City brass. However, they load it with a Hornady 75 grain boat tail hollow point match bullet. And it's kind of along the lines of like, you know, it's kind of a cheaper on the price scale. I think I paid 17 or 18 bucks for it at Midway. You know, I was just kind of, well, you know, we'll see how it goes. Mega stoked with this, very impressed with it. I was surprised. Because some of the other cartridges kind of in this range of boat tail hollow point bullets and stuff, you know, you're looking up in the upper 20s for a box of it, and this is in the upper teens. So I was, you know, very happy with it. Look at this. 0.71. I don't know. We'll take it. that will do. That'll get the job done there. So pretty happy with that. So pretty good load with this. The second group that we did, it did spread out a little bit more. So maybe it was just beginner's luck on that one. I only had one box of this, so I threw it into the mix to see what we'd get. So maybe beginner's luck on that one. I did spread out here to 1.71 inches on the second group. And then I decided to go ahead and shoot a third group with it. And with this, we then ended up with 0.91 inches. So that ended up being a relatively tight group right there, and super happy with that. So that's under 1 inch at 100 yards. Can we complain? No. Perfect. Again, super stoked with that. And then the very last one that we did here, this is with IMI, and this is 55 grain, 77 grain hollow point boat tail match bullets. They're razor core bullet or whatever it's called. And this, you know, this performed kind of like all right. wasn't kind of, I don't know, I was just kind of middle of the road with it. I think it, seems to work fine. 1.89 inches here on the first group that we got, the widest spread that we had, and then 1.79 inches. So pretty consistent, but definitely was not as tight as that Frontier ammo. So we gave that a punt and just kind of see how that would go. Overall, folks, pretty happy, and especially, I have to say, going to be getting more of this Frontier ammo. Super happy with that. That really gets the job done. Folks, here we are on the back of our impromptu workbench on the back of the Can-Am Defender here. And what do we think at the end of the day with our Palmetto kit? Thing I always look for with any product is, for the money I spend, do I feel that I've gotten good value for the money, and maybe even more than that. And with this, I think for the money spent, I've gotten way in excess on the value side of the equation. So I'm super happy with this. And at the end of the day, the accuracy was bang on. Actually, the accuracy surprised me. I didn't expect to get that good of the accuracy out of it that I did. And especially with that 75 grain Frontier load, that was very impressive. That got, less than 1 inch at 100 yards, with basically what amounts to pretty stock standard, inexpensive AR-15. I don't know, that's pretty impressive to me, and just super happy with that. Also, reliability. I don't remember it choking on anything at all. I ran all different types of ammo through it, and it all just fed it all, no problem whatsoever. The American Tactical, I think it's ATI. This receiver ended up working well with the Palmetto kit, so very happy with that. I would buy these Milsport receivers again. So that did an excellent job. And also with these kits, they come with the Magpul furniture, and the Magpul furniture is always nice. So everything about it, just good value for the money. And you know what I think is the awesome thing about these, and I'm glad that Palmetto makes quality products at a quality price for folks to have, because the thing is, with the total build price on this outside of the optic here, for around $350 for me, I think you're probably going to spend just a little bit more right about now, is that you could have easily 10 of these. So it's a thing of where, hey, you could have one for the truck, you could have one for the barn, you could have one for the garage, you could have one for the house. You can build them in all sorts of different configurations, all that sort of thing. So you can end up having a bunch of utilitarian rifles that are reliable, accurate, and ready to go for whatever you might need them for. So at the end of the day, good value. Hope to review some more Palmetto products in the future. Probably next, I think for me, is maybe I'll get one of the 300 Blackout pistol kits for my 300 Blackout reloading videos. There's a lot of demand for people to see results from a shorter barrel, so that's something I'm going to take a look at. But yeah, super happy with this. I'd highly recommend it to anybody else, and definitely check these out, folks. Hey, stay tuned on the channel too. We got a lot of stuff coming up, and also too, make sure y'all hit the like button, make sure you subscribe, and I appreciate leaving comments. So if you have comments, leave them down below. Always good to hear from folks.